Hello, my name is Martin Schultz and I'm in health communications. I'll be giving you guys a speech today, and I just want to take a second to show you guys my audience. Sierra and Alicia. Right. According to Kids Count, a data book that rates the trends in child well-being, Oklahoma, our state, ranks 36 overall in the United States in categories such as health, family and community, economic well-being, and education. Out of 50 states, we cannot sit back and be okay with this number because these kids are the future of not only Oklahoma, but the states that will be one day impacted by these young individuals. The goal of this presentation is to understand our youth's upbringing and well-being in hopes of making a difference in the lives of children through analyzing the problem areas and determining a way to communicate change. With the remainder of our time, I will be discussing the problem area of education and how it drastically affects the well-being of children. Introducing a communication plan that is focused on changing education and also addressing why this plan is likely to succeed. Out of the areas aforementioned, education is the worst. Coming in ranked 39, there are several problems that lead us to this truth. The first is that Oklahoma, the Kids Count book mentions, is a number of children that are not enrolled in early childhood education. This is an issue because of how shapeable children are in the early stages of their lives. Getting them used to the school system and learning at a very early stage is beneficial to the development process in their life. The second issue to the problem is funding for these early preschool institutions. Like the book mentions, it is a goal to coordinate and improve the various early childhood programs and components in the state to create a cohesive, high-quality early childhood system. This pertains to the #1 rated state and development programs, which is Connecticut. By expanding funding like Connecticut, Oklahoma's enrollment in early childhood programs would increase significantly. The difference between the states in these programs are not mandatory in Oklahoma like they are in Connecticut. The text also discusses the lack of proficiency in the reading by the time that most children reach the 4th grade. They claim that 67% are not proficient when entering the 4th grade. This time around, Massachusetts ranks in our first 4th grade reading proficiency. They are around 50%, opposed to Oklahoma's 67%. The problem here again being funding. Now the last problem area I will address is the proficiency level in math in the 8th grade class. We are below the level of satisfactory throughout the United States in math. This problem is more likely the cause of poor teaching and individual focus. The people who are negatively impacted by these problem areas are the students, of course. The potential for early childhood education to help better equip children with a solid education foundation is huge. This is so major that it not only affects them but how society will function as a whole for years to come. The students are highly moldable at early ages and often mimic behavioral tendencies of the people that impact them early on. If children grasp the importance of education to better function in society, we can create a more intelligent world. The implications for each individual to be involved in funding education for people groups getting more involved in early development are crucial for the society of Oklahoma to increase its ranks throughout the U.S. We must do this together. The urgency of dealing with these problems head-on must be the priority. We have to get the ball rolling on providing better opportunities for the future of our state and the well-being of each individual in educational programs in our great state. Although I do not necessarily see eye to eye with Mary Fallon, the governor of Oklahoma, I do agree with the quote she stated, and that is used in the Kids Count text. The quote goes as follows: "A thriving, prosperous economy must have a skilled, educated workforce. The truth of this statement rings true in the priority of that having an education, even uh, that having an education has on jobs that we go into in the future, let alone just having personal knowledge. That is a good reason that we must act quick on reaching people on how to be more influential. Like I mentioned before, early childhood education, like pre-K, are not mandatory. Where we used to be a leader in early childhood education, we are no longer because of funding and budget cuts. We are not in a great position with education currently in our state. Introducing a plan to reach taxpayers of Oklahoma with a message of the importance of early childhood education is a good route to change. Making pre-K mandatory and getting more messages out to the leading economic groups who are consistently not attending any early childhood education programs is also a part of my plan to produce change. Like Massachusetts, investing more per student in low-income areas will help pay these low-income areas for these low-income areas where we would be able to close the achievement gap because of better school services that their local tax base would be able to afford. My next communication strategy would be that the teacher responsible for the education of children be more difficult to be certified rather than less certified like the direction of our state was heading. After reading the Kids Count book and the portion pertaining to education, the stats made me want to be better. My theory is to communicate our deficiencies more frequently by many outlets of informing others. As a proud Oklahoman, it is disheartening to see us ranked in so low in education, and I can attest to many others of this truth. If people were to frequently see the need for change in childhood education, they may be more apt to be involved and produce change. The use of social media could be a great tool to reach different audiences with this communication plan I mentioned. Making a profile to inform people of the continuous progress of the education status in the state would help produce greater feedback to the community. Making school funding a priority of Oklahoma taxpayers helps get more low-income students in the classroom at an earlier age. My communications channels would be more fortunate paying increases in taxes to help fund various education programs and help fight against budget cuts and teacher layoffs. To the low-income and ethnic groups, historically, for those children not attending early education opportunities, I would focus on messaging the importance of early development of their children. By raising awareness to these groups, I would hope to create a change of mind in those audiences. These messages would provide ways that they can help specifically to also get them involved in helping their child learn to read, to do simple math would be a great thing for everyone involved. My message would attempt to focus on the value of intelligence, to focus on the child's future career that they will go into, and getting the audience involved in how their taxes would specifically be used in education is a big part of my theory to producing change, advocating for the well-being of children today. The core message that I would like to identify in my analysis is that it takes an effort from everyone. It is key that communicators of education provide continual awareness of how we are being successful or a complete failure. It is important to keep our society informed via social media, by mail, and person to person of the value of early childhood education and why their tax-paying money is being put to good use. My plan will improve the success of children's lives in Oklahoma because it will force people to react to the communication plan being laid out. By making early education mandatory and providing a way to help fund our education programs, we can be very present in the early development of children and the future of potentially the whole country. It is no doubt that many of our teachers in Oklahoma are being laid off, and that is not okay. We must be supportive of education because of its high level of importance. To quote APJ Abdul Kalam, teaching is a very noble profession that shapes the character, caliber, and future of an individual. I could not agree more. The continuation of testing our teachers of the curriculum that is being taught to children is a great importance of Oklahoma's educational plan in improving the lives of children. The goal of this presentation is to understand our youth's upbringing and well-being in hopes of making a difference in the lives of children throughout analyzing the problem areas and determining determining a way to communicate change. And I hope I did just that. Thank you.